Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of the Alpine ski restoration. I have the two sides up here on stands. I have some really long nails I need to knock out of here so that I can flip them over and we can start doing the body work to them. I'd really like to just get all this body work done today, and I'll see about primering. We're having a lot of bad storms today. It's currently not raining, but I don't want to start primering and the power go out on me, because then the compressor's not going to work and I'm not going to be able to finish primering. But we'll see how it goes. Let's get them body worked first. They're in really good shape compared to the other cabinet, which the other cabinet was in good shape as well. A little bit swelled up right here. So I think I'm going to hit this with the sander real quick. These edges before I flip it over. Do it to both of them. And then we'll get these two done. And then we'll do the front and the speaker and the top and stuff like that. I need to go to Home Depot today and get some wood to rebuild the base for the cabinet. And I have not ordered angle brackets yet, so they do supposedly online. I looked, they have some in stock. $3 for 2, which isn't horrible. So we'll get 4 angle brackets to rebuild that bottom. There's currently some angle brackets on here, I think. Yeah, they're just all rusted and pitted up, so we'll just put 4 new ones on. And also I ordered glass beads from Amazon and they never showed up yet, so I looked at Harbor Freight and they have, you can buy a 5 or 10 pound bag of them for 10 bucks. I think it's 5 pounds for 10 bucks, which is more than I need to fill that up. There's actually a little bit of crushed walnut shells that I had left in a bag. I threw those in there and I'm just going to mix them in with the glass beads, so I won't get a completely accurate reading on how well the glass beads work as opposed to the crushed walnut shells, but why waste them? Might as well use them. So let's knock these couple nails and screws out of here. I'm guessing I could probably just tap these screws out even with a hammer. Might have to get the drill. But somebody a little crazy with the nails. 2-inch spiral nails. Yeah, I'll probably have to get a drill for those couple screws. Maybe. I don't know. They really kind of busted it up a little bit by doing that, but it's okay. Not a big deal. Alright. We get my sander set up. We'll knock these down real quick and get them flipped over so that we can get those sanded. We'll probably use the mud buster just to knock them down real fast so I'm not sitting here for a half an hour getting sanding done. I'm actually going to blow these off and do a little bit of filler. I want to fill in these screw holes and stuff because obviously that's a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be there from years of different stuff being put in the cabinet. There's a couple other spots I want to touch up real quick. I might as well just do that now while these are upside down. These nails that were shot into the cabinet are definitely original nails. They have like a weird head on them. This is like when pneumatic nailers first started coming out in the early 80s. I remember these nails actually when I was a kid playing with my dad's tools. These weird kind of rectangular heads that were on them. So let me mix up a little bit of Bondo. I just want to hit some of these spots real quick. And then I don't have to worry about it, so that after it's painted, we can just flip this thing over and paint the inside. Now we'll have to create probably a few new holes for the wiring harness, but that's not a big deal. I'm actually going to fill these in. This is where that angle bracket goes that holds the speaker panel on. Because this one kind of split a little bit when it fell yesterday, so I figure why not just fill it in, and then when I go to put screws back in it, it'll hold. I think I filled in what I wanted to. Like I said, these were in pretty good shape, so a little bit of nicking right here. I guess I have a little extra. I'll just fill it in. Never gonna see it. It's on the rabbet cut, which gets glued back into the bottom. But I guess if I'm gonna throw it away, might as well just use it. Oh, if you guys are using Bondo and you get it from Home Depot or Lowe's, that stuff's getting expensive. Check Summit Racing. I've been buying it from Summit Racing for a while now. They have two different style ones. The last time I bought this version here, I'll show you the can and the part number. I think it was 30 bucks a gallon. I mean, you can't get body filler for $30 a gallon. It's SUM 944000. So if you go on their website, you could probably look up that part number. Lightweight auto body filler. I like this stuff. They sell a creamier one too, but this works good, especially for the money. It's literally $20 or $30 cheaper than the other version they sell. I'm actually, while I'm waiting for that to set up, I'm going to go on their website and look and see if it's still $29 a gallon, because the last time it was $29 a gallon, I bought 4 gallons of it, because it was like $60 or $80 at Home Depot or Lowe's for a gallon of Bondo brand Bondo. I'm like, dude, that's ridiculous. So basically you're getting 2.5 gallons for the price of 1 gallon of Bondo. So let me look that up while I'm letting that dry. All right, I'm still waiting for the filler to dry. I looked it up. It's $30.99. So basically it went up $1 from the last time I bought it. So for $30.99, you get yourself a whole gallon and you'll get a big tube of hardener with it. So I highly recommend this, especially for the value, guys. You won't find it anywhere cheaper. So, all right, I'll be back shortly. Okay, now I'm mixing up some of the Fantastic Glaze by U-Pull, and I'll show you guys once again the container. I get it at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's 20 bucks a tube. Really nice stuff. It's real creamy. Sand's really nice. And we just got a bunch of spots, a bunch of nicks to fill in. We're gonna have to put extra primer on these, I think. probably gonna have to mix up a little bit more. I'm just pulling it really tight so I don't have to go crazy with sanding. Just trying to fill in low spots. There's so many spots that look low that it's kind of hard to gauge what's low and what's not low. And also remember, when you have an edge that has a rounded corner that needs to be filled in, pull the Bondo, glazing filler, whatever you want to call it, towards the cabinet rather than away from the cabinet. If you go this way, it's not going to work as good as if you pull it this way. This stuff does dry pretty quick, so you gotta keep moving. I think the storms are done now until this evening. Well, early morning, I guess you'd say, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning area. Supposed to get some more bad storms. Southern Ohio is supposed to get, they said yesterday, between 10 and 15 inches of rain. I don't know if that's true or not, but if so, that's bad. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up more and finish filling this one in off camera, and then we'll come back, sand this down. Probably really lightly with 80 grit and then 180. And hopefully these two are ready for primer and we can move on to the front and the top and the speaker piece and the back door. Okay, while that's drying, this is what I'm using. The U-Pull Fantastic Glaze. Part number is UP0922. O'Reilly Auto Parts sells it. I don't really know of many other places that sell this, but I believe you can go on O'Reilly Parts website and probably order it from there. I think it's free shipping over $35, and these are like 20 a piece. So if you were to buy 2 of these, I don't think you have to pay shipping. So just figured I'd show this stuff to you guys once again, like I always do, so that you guys can see it. They recommend 180 to 220 grit to sand it. I'll knock it down real quick with some 80 grit and then hit it with 180 grit. So I'm gonna do that here in a few minutes. All right, as you can see, I sanded this front down really far because when I first started sanding it, you can see all those nicks everywhere. And I wanted to get most of those out so I didn't have to put a bunch of filler on it. So that's why I sanded these panels a little bit more than normal. Speaker panel's ready for primer. This just has a nick right here I need to fill in. And then the tops actually feels really good. The back fell off, which that's pretty normal. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that glazing putty on the bottom of this. A couple little nicks here and there and on that. And then I'll sand these two down, and then we'll do that back panel and the back door. And at that point, we're ready to primer all this stuff. So it's going quick. It usually does, you know, if you just buckle down and get this stuff done, guys, you buy yourself a cheap sander. Doesn't have to be air powered. You could buy a Bauer cordless DA sander and do it almost as quick. And there's no reason why you guys can't get this stuff done in a day if you really buckle down, you know what I mean? It only takes me a couple hours at most. I spend more time waiting around for stuff to dry than it does for me to physically do it. But it just shows you, you know, if you really just buckle down, you can really knock this stuff out quick. Because it's fun restoring them, but it's also fun to play them. So if they're sitting in a pile, like I have a bunch of games in the back shop not finished, what good is that? Got to get them done. Play them. Okay, I'm gonna get these blown off and then work on the back door and that lower or that upper back piece. Now, I went along and I put a little filler. See all these little nicks? Even after sanding all the artwork off of here, these nicks were still deeper into the wood than I thought. So I had gone over them with some filler. If you don't cover these and you paint over them, you're gonna see that and it's gonna look like real crap. So I'm gonna blow these off and then I had some extra filler, so I already started putting it on the back door rather than throwing it away. So if you ever have extra filler and you have some holes and stuff to fill in, pack it into something else that you're going to be doing anyways. So let me get these blown off and we'll start knocking down the back door. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to mix up the primer. It's a tight fit right now in the spray booth because I have that truck half in here. Somebody had asked me, don't I worry about the overspray on the truck? No, because the way the ventilation works is it goes that way, away from the vehicle. So, and this doesn't really have a lot of overspray. This is the Summit Racing 2K primer, urethane primer. The part number is SUM-UP220G is in gallon. If anybody wants to try this stuff, you can buy it right through Summit. I believe it's like $80 for the gallon, and then the hardener is like another $30 or $40, and then I get a gallon reducer. It's probably about $160 to $180 for this, but you'll get probably 3 arcade cabinets out of it. So if it's $180 divided by 3, it's only $60 a cabinet. If you go and buy a good, decent roll-on primer, it's going to be 40 bucks probably for a gallon, you know, at Home Depot or Lowe's. So it's really not too bad. It's pretty comparable. So I'm going to get this mixed up. We're going to go out there, get the first coat on and see what it looks like. Probably end up doing 3 coats, just because some of those areas are a little rough. And it's easier to fill it in with this than to keep doing Bondo work and stuff like that. So let me get this mixed up. And then we're going to get the first coat put on. All right, we'll go take a look at those parts in a minute. Just because I said, you know, people say stuff like they did yesterday and it was kind of funny, and I like to post stuff that I think is like ridiculous. So no, I'm not changing anything I do. I'm not changing. The only thing I'll end up changing eventually is get a better camera and a microphone. But other than that, everything else I do is going to stay the same. What you see me do is no editing other than fast forwarding stuff. There's no acting, there's no, this is me, this is how it is, and that's just, you know, what it is. What the heck was I gonna say? Forgot what I was gonna say. See, not editing. I don't remember what I was gonna say. I don't know. Let's go look at those parts. Oh, tomorrow we're gonna be rebuilding the bottom of the base. I'm actually going to go to Home Depot right now. We're going to get the bottom of that base rebuilt. We're going to get the metal parts, the coin door, the coin bucket, the metal brackets and stuff like that sanded and painted tomorrow. I want to try to get all this stuff painted ahead of the cabinet itself. I'm excited about painting that cabinet because I want to bring that stencil down a little bit more and see if it lines up a little bit better with that curve. And I'm working with Arcade Art Shop in the UK. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he's going to be able to get me the artwork that I need for the hit and run cabinet, so that we can bring that back to a hit and run. He emailed me today. I emailed him back. I also been talking to Dan at Escape Pod. I don't have anything against him either by any means. He's done quite a few things for me. I've had really good luck with him. I know some people haven't. I can't really speak for that because 95% of what he's done for me has been good. Been a few things that weren't so good, but I knew that going into it that they weren't going to be so good because it was just like a shitty picture I sent them or something like that, you know, but you can only do so much. But anyways, I'm working with that, trying to get that artwork figured out. I did find a board for it. I have not bought the board yet because I want to make sure I get the artwork first. I don't want to go getting a board and then I can't get the artwork. So hopefully I'll get that straightened out. Let's go take a look at this real quick. And it's probably still a little wet, still a little shiny, but I finished up the second coat because I ran out on that last panel, and then I did a third coat on everything. So everything has 3 coats. I'm gonna let it dry. Today is Wednesday, so Thursday, I'll probably try to paint these Friday night. But they look good. You can still see these low spots, okay? And they're not super low, okay? What that is in that dip right there, that material is rougher than this surface, okay? So in the dips, it's actually rougher than on top, but I have a ton of material on there that should sand out. So, and if for some reason it doesn't, we'll put a little bit more filler and put a little bit more primer. You know, it is what it is. All right, well, that's going to wrap up part 2 of the Alpine ski restoration. It's going really good. By the end of the weekend, if everything goes right, we should have the cabinet together, ready to assemble the insides of it. Then we're going to be on to building the next 2 Tato cabinets. Hopefully the weather gets better because I do not like building cabinets inside the shop because it makes a huge mess. Because I cut everything out with a router, well, not everything, but the sides out with a router and everything, and it just is super dusty. I'm going to be using melamine, black melamine and white melamine, because he requested that the sides of the what the hell is that called, rock and rope, he wanted the sides of that to be white. So we're going to use white melamine for the sides of that, maybe even the front. I'm not sure yet. And then what we'll do is the insides of the melamine will be white on the insides of the cabinet. We'll just spray paint that black. Probably just use spray cans for that. Nobody's gonna see it. And then the other cabinets can be made out of black melamine. So I'm gonna get 2 sheets of black and 2 sheets of white. 2 sheets of white is a little bit more than I need. But worst case scenario, if I'm running short on the black as far as like the back door or something like that, we can just use a white piece and paint it black. I'm not too worried about that. So that's next. Once this Alpine ski is finished up, we're going to get those 2 knocked out, and then his 4 cabinets will be done for him. Obviously, we got to put those 2 together after I build them. But then he'll be ready to go. I might end up more than likely I'm going to be taking them to him rather than him coming to me, for the simple fact that I need to go to Michigan to work on that journey that I sold. He sent me the soundboard, which I made that video the other day, and it wasn't the soundboard. I was praying it was a soundboard because then I could just fix it and then send it back to him and it would have been good. But obviously it's not, so it's something's wrong with the wiring. There's a bad wire somewhere that's losing power or something stupid. So I'm gonna have to go out there. This guy with the Tato cabinets is 2 hours from him, so I'll probably go drop off the Tato cabinets first and then go to him and somehow fix the game. I don't know what it is. I have to bring a bunch of stuff with me, multimeter, extra wires, connectors, all that stuff, and just do continuity tests on the wire and see if I can't figure out what is going on and what is causing the power to stop on the tape deck. You know, so it's something with the wire going from the tape deck to the circuit board. So somewhere in that strand, it's getting screwed up. When the cassette deck board says, turn the tape deck on, play the tape, it's losing the signal. It'll spin it for a split second and stop, which doesn't really make any sense. But I would think that there's 2 wires maybe. I don't know if there's just one signal wire or multiple ones, but I'll figure out some way, one way or another, I'll get it figured out. So that's my plans, is just to go out there to his house and fix it. When I sell something, if something breaks right away, or like instance, he took it and we knew the tape deck wasn't working, I do whatever it takes to get it to run, to get it to work, because I always want somebody to be happy with what they buy, you know what I mean? I don't want to screw anybody over by any means, and I don't mind. It is what it is. I'll just make a day of it, go drop off the games. It'll be, I think it's almost 5 hours to the guy with the Tato cabinets, 4.5, 5 hours. I'll go from him 2 hours over to the other guy, however long it takes to fix it, and then I'll head back home. It is what it is. Hopefully, I'm gonna do it at the end of the month, I think. Unless I get done with these cabinets sooner, maybe I'll do it a little sooner. But hopefully the weather will be getting better. But I'll take some of the tools out of my van. The shelving will stay. I should be able to fit all 4 cabinets in there. Might be a little bit of a tight fit, but I'm pretty positive I can fit them all in there with the shelving units that are in there. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to end part 2 of the Alpine ski. And tomorrow we'll be on to part 3. We're going to be working on the base, all the metal brackets, the wood brackets for the monitor, the coin door, the coin bucket, the angle brackets. We'll get all that stuff done and painted tomorrow with spray paint. The base, we'll probably just, we'll brush the base. So we'll get that done, brush paint that. So we'll be looking really good for Friday night for painting those parts. And then I need to make sure that the weather's going to be okay, because as long as it's not raining, I want to put that truck outside while I'm painting those parts, so I have enough room to paint everything. So if the weather's not good, we might have to paint them on Saturday, but we'll see what happens. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.